Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I want to thank everybody for the love and support on my recent videos. Thank you so much for sharing, liking, and also subscribing. I appreciate it ever so much. Today I wanted to come to you guys to pretty much give you story time. Story time, more about me. Of course, as I said, you know, in my banner, it's also about, my videos are going to be about lifestyle. So I'm coming today a little bit different, more on a serious note. I am all about, you know, showing people who I really am, you know, kind of a little bit of my background, because if I do consider to, you know, pursue YouTube for a long run, you guys are going to see a lot more of me, and, you know, as much as I possibly can give to you guys, I definitely want to be able to share. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life, and something that not too many people know. Only probably about 4 people actually know what has went on in my life and what I've endured and, you know, just had to overcome over the last, I don't know, I won't say 30 years, but, you know, quite some time, over a couple decades. You know, I guess I can say that I am a suicide attempt survivor, and a lot of that goes back to, in the beginning, starting in high school. So I was a cheerleader in high school, did a lot of clubs, did a lot of different activities, tried to keep myself busy. My family is big on support and athletes, and, you know, just making sure that, you know, if you want to do it, try it, you know, go for it. And that's what my family did. But kind of to go back before all that, I moved to Florida. Well, I moved to Pensacola in 2002, which was the end of my freshman year. Of course, as I told y'all in previous videos, I'm from Buffalo, New York, so the way we kind of act was different, the way I dressed was different, a lot of different things, sorry, about me that were different than people here in Pensacola. So when I first, you know, came in, it was really weird. Of course, being here and a lot of people going to school, like middle school with each other, elementary schools, like they grew up, everybody already had their cliques and, you know, the different people that they were familiar with and things like that. And it was definitely an adjustment for me. I didn't know anybody, so it was like I'm the new girl in school just trying to find my way, just trying to get through freshman year. And everybody already knows, like, freshman year is already a lot for, you know, a young adult. It's really a lot. I mean, high school period is a lot. So going into the end of my freshman year, you know, I made a couple friends, not too many. It was different. I would definitely say it was different. Sophomore year is when things got a little bit different. Sophomore year, I was just trying to find my way, find what I liked in school to kind of just keep me, you know, busy. Because again, like I said, I didn't have a lot of friends. It's not like, you know, I was a ugly girl or anything like that. I mean, you know, I was just normal, I think. I was just normal. So 10th grade year, I went on and did cheerleading and stuff like that. And as that started to progress, cheerleading and me kind of getting out more a little bit, then that's kind of where my life kind of took a turn. Even though I was a cheerleader, you know, I knew a lot of people because of it, still I was an outcast. I was an outsider to the people at my high school. Still didn't have a lot of friends besides the people who I clicked up with in cheerleading. In high school, in 10th grade, I started to get bullied. I got bullied a lot. And you know, people hear that, they don't really grasp the understanding of a girl being bullied in school or kids being bullied at school. Like, we see it all the time happening, cyberbullying, which wasn't, you know, hugely big back when I was in high school, but bullying is really a thing. So when I was in 10th grade, there was like so many different rumors going on saying I did this, I did that, this, and you know, that and the third about me. But nobody, you know, I never had anybody in my corner. So over time, the bullying and the rumors and things like that just started to progress. Going into my 11th grade year is when things really kind of just exploded. There was so much being said about me to the point where sometimes I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to wake up in the morning. I didn't want to do too much of anything because, like, it was a nightmare going to school. The only thing that kept me sane at the time was cheerleading, was weightlifting, was track, was the different clubs that I had started to join in school. And it was just, the rumors had got so bad to the point where, like, walking down the hallway was like, I don't even know what to describe it. Like, it was the most uncomfortable feeling every day. Some days I might not have gotten it as much, but other days, I mean, from boys and girls, and it's crazy. And the crazy thing about it is, like, you know, getting off of that for a second, is the people who did this to me and said things about me and bullied me throughout high school. Like, I see them all the time now, and a lot of them, you know, they speak, and you know, I don't hold grudges, and I forgave everyone long time ago, but I don't think anybody ever really sits back and think about what they did to somebody. Think about how they really impacted someone's life by the things that they said, the things that they did. Well, going back to 11th grade and everything progressing, it was like I couldn't get a boyfriend. Like, no one really wanted to take me serious or anything like that, because it was just so much circulating on from school to school and things like that about me that weren't even true. If anybody knew my mother and my parents at the time that I was in high school, like, I didn't get to do whatever I wanted to do. Like, I didn't get to just go out and go to parties and hang out all the time. Like, that's not what my family, that's not what my parents allowed me to do. Yeah, sometimes, you know, they'll let me go here once in a while, but like, when it came to all of that, I didn't have, I won't say I wasn't privileged, because I was. My parents definitely, you know, allowed me some sort of freedom, but it wasn't something that was normal for me to just be out. So for things to happen, like people say they happen and things like that, it was kind of impossible. But as 11th grade went on and things progressed, like, I tried to reach out to my family, my parents, and tell them, you know, like, I hate school. Like, I don't want to go to school. I was so depressed. Like, I was just super depressed. There was a lot of different things that happened in my, you know, 10th and 11th grade year that just I went through depression so bad, because, you know, I had low self-esteem. I felt like I wasn't enough. It really took over me, and I would tell my parents all the time, I'm like, I don't want to go to school here anymore. Like, I want to go to a different school. And, you know, I couldn't do it. And I would come home like every single night and cry because like I just hated it. I hated going to school. I hated thinking about, you know, what's gonna happen today, what, you know, what is gonna be said about me today, like just what is the next day gonna be like. And it became so much that I got to the point where it was like there has to be some way around this. Like I can't just stop going to school. I mean, I could, but I know my parents, you know, would have never allowed that to happen. But I was like, there has to be some way, like there has to be another way for me to get away from this. And that's when I started, you know, thinking about suicide. That's when the suicide attempts started to happening. That's when, you know, I started hanging out with the wrong crowd, and I would skip school. And I'm not gonna lie, like I tried, you know, smoking and stuff like that and drinking at a young age. Is just because just life had became so much for a young adult. And especially nowadays, like it's so hard because you're always being judged. You're being judged by the way you talk. You're being judged by the way you look, the things that you put on, how you wear your hair, your makeup. Like every time you step out of the house, you're being judged, which it should never be like that, but it is. And back then, like that's how it was. Like it's just always being judged on just me. No one ever, you know, stopping to think like, dang, like maybe we're, you know, being too harsh on her. Maybe, like no one ever thinks, and I know still to this day with the bullying and all that kind of stuff, no one ever thinks like, dang, like with all the stories that are being told of you know, people committing suicide and these people shooting up the schools and stuff like that, no one ever thinks like, maybe we should stop. Maybe we should stop pushing so hard. That is just kind of, with school and all that going on, like it really made, just going back, like with school and everything, it just really made it hard for me to deal. Like all I could think about during my time, you know, 10th, 11th, even going to 12th grade. 12th grade, it kind of died down a little bit, but it didn't go away. Still, when I got a boyfriend, my boyfriend lived 45 minutes away because, like, I couldn't talk to nobody here. Like, I didn't want to date anybody here because everyone was just so mean and so hurtful. And it's just like I didn't even want the things to just get out of control. Even though later on down the road, like he heard all the stories and the things that were, you know, he said about me. And I mean, he stayed. We were together for, you know, a year and a half. That was like my high school sweetheart. Like I loved him to death, and I appreciate him. You know, if this video ever comes out to him, or if he ever sees this video, you know, I appreciate him for sticking around when he did. But all I could think about when I was in high school is I can't wait to leave. Like, as soon as I graduate, I want to leave. And I told my dad, like, I want to move after I graduate. As quickly as I can move, like, I want to move. And my dad, you know, I didn't have, like, my car at the time or whatever. It's like, you know, he was like, you know, once we get you a car, you can move. In February 2007, my dad bought me a car and I moved. So after I moved away, things kind of got a little bit better. A lot of people that know me know I guess in the term nowadays, like bisexual, pansexual, whatever. I consider myself a pansexual because I don't see people for race or their gender, or you know, none of that determines how I feel about a person. And whatever, bisexual, like it's definitely more of a mental, spiritual, emotional type deal when it comes to who I like and who I want to date and things like that. Well, that kind of goes into like after I moved away. I had always dealt with women, even in high school and after high school. Of course, I didn't act on it as much in high school because my family was, you know, not so strongly religious, but that's not something that they were involved in or thought about or just dealt with, really. So when I moved away to Atlanta, it allowed me that freedom. I'm like, okay, like, you know, I'm 18. I don't even know if I was 18 yet. I think I was 18. I'm 18, you know, I can go and I can be free. I can live my life and get away from these horrible people who made high school such a living hell for me. So yeah. So I move away. My dream, because cheerleading became life, like music and dancing became life. I moved away and went to Atlanta, and my goal was to be an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader. I was like, I'm gonna go to Atlanta, get myself established, you know, comfortable, whatever. I'm gonna just try to make a better living for myself. So when I get to Atlanta, I'm living with my aunt and things like that, and I did have a girlfriend at the time, and I actually came out to my dad in 2007. Yeah, I came out to him, and I told him that, you know, I have a girlfriend, I like girls and things. And somehow, well, I know how, but I'm not gonna put out there, my aunt, they're really religious, like really religious. So they found out like I liked girls, and I was dealing with a girl and things like that, and she kicked me out of her house. So pretty much for a short period of time, my family, they didn't accept, you know, who I liked. They didn't accept me and things like that. And it was like, I literally, my parents probably came on like a Friday or a Saturday, don't remember, and I had to move the very next day. So for someone who had this big dream to, you know, someone had this dream to really do something with their life and make changes, it all got taken away from me because of my dating preference. Now, I forgive, and I long time ago forgave everyone for, you know, how things were, but that's when I got into this deep depression. Like, I couldn't believe that my dream got taken away from me because of who I wanted to date, who I wanted to talk to. Hey, I didn't understand. I didn't understand how people could be so hurtful and just, you know, I get you believe in what you want to believe in, and I'm not telling anyone to not believe, but I didn't understand. And it was like, I couldn't even live in my house. Like, I just couldn't believe that, you know, my family would do this to me, whatever. Sorry, y'all. So after that happened, I went into a really big depression, and you know, I'm not gonna give the long story of, you know, events after that, but it got to the point where like my dating preference kept me from my family. Like my dating preference kept me from being happy, and that took me into a tailspin. Like I just couldn't understand. Like I just couldn't, you know, imagine. And people would always say, oh, it's just a phase and stuff like that. Like still to this day, like I like women. I like men. Like I don't, you know, it's, but back then, like coming out and letting people know, like people are rude. People just don't understand how words can hurt people. And I still, like, it just kind of took me all back to like high school. Like I still had to deal with so many issues to the point where I wanted to give up. Like I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to live anymore, because I'm just like, I just can't believe like all of this is happening to me. Like my life literally turned around. Like I can't even say it turned around. My life just took my life took a turn. And like I just didn't know what to do anymore. I was so lost. Like I was so confused, because I just really thought that I had everything figured out, but it was all taken away. And it was like I didn't want to live anymore. Like I didn't want to be around my family. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Like I just wanted to be free. I just wanted to be free from everything, all the judgments, all the whispers and the opinions. Like I didn't want to be around it ever again. You know, all these different stories are to say, like, be careful what you say about people. Be mindful of what people are going through. If you're in high school and you're watching this and you're listening to it, like, if you're the one bullying, stop. Because you never really take the time to like think about what you're saying. It's more so trying to be cool, trying to be hip, trying to go along with everybody else. But it's not okay, because there's someone on the other side receiving that, and that's breaking them down. Like, it's hard enough having to just go through puberty and emotions and things like that, to have people break you down every single day. Having people, you know, make you feel low, make you feel like you're not enough. Depression is real. Like, I can honestly say for years, like, I have dealt with depression. I'm able to cope with it now, but it's a real thing. Like, so many life situations and things that go on will really, you know, change you. I want to be able to help people understand that you're not alone. Like, even though I'm doing this YouTube stuff, even though I want to start DJing again and stuff like that, that's my way of expressing myself and my outlet from getting away from what happened in the past. I never want to see anybody hurt. I never want for anybody to feel like they're alone. Like, I wish that back in the day, you know, this was available to me, and it probably was, but the internet wasn't what it is today. Like, you go to the internet for anything. You sneeze wrong and you go to Google to look at it and find out what's wrong or whatever. But like, for every young person, for every old person, for just anybody, period, like, keep living. Find something that you enjoy so much to keep living for. And, you know, I thank God for getting me through all of that. it was a journey that I did by myself. I think working so much is really my outlet. Like, that's how I survive from everything, because I try to keep myself busy to not think about all the pain that I felt, all of the things that I, you know, went through over the years, and the pain that I caused myself physically. Like, just working just constantly just had me busy. Find what makes you happy. Find what keeps you, you know, going each and every day. For me, it is makeup, music. It is my son, my family. It's positive people. Find something that's gonna keep you pushing each and every day. If it's music, if it's, you know, art, if it's anything of those things, you know, it's so many different things out here nowadays that can keep you going. Like, you know, if you feel some type of way, write it out. Make a song, draw, paint, just do something. Life is so much more, and you have to just be so grateful. If you're in a situation now and you're unhappy, you can leave that situation. There's so many different resources. There's so many different ways to get away from what's hurting you, what's causing you pain, what's causing you to feel like you don't want to be here anymore, you don't want to be around. If you need somebody to talk to, call the National Suicide Prevention Line. That number is 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-8255. You can also text TALK to 741-741. If you ever feel like you're in that spot where just you want to give up, call them. If you ever need somebody to talk to, my information is down below. Email me. Like, I want to be here for young and old. Like I said before, like, talking about suicide, talking about depression is something that people don't do on the regular, and it's a very uncomfortable situation. It's a very emotional situation, as you can see from me, because there's so much, you know, there's so much that goes on, and people have to really understand that they really make an impact on other people's lives, and it's not always a positive impact. It can definitely be negative, and they definitely can, you know, either ruin someone's life. I was lucky enough to overcome everything, but take suicide seriously. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the USA. Each year, over 44,000 people die from suicide. In 2016, 6.03% of African Americans died from suicide. For us, for people all over, and even for people of color, my African American, my black people, like, it's okay to talk about things. It's okay to open up to someone. There is one person that I'm assure you that you can go talk to. You have a pastor, you have a counselor, you have me. Like, never allow yourself to get to that point where you just want to give up, no matter how bad it is, no matter what you think you're going through. Someone else, and I get told this all the time, someone else has it worse than you do. But situations can change. We can all help each other. So for everyone looking at this video who's never experienced this, who's never went through this, who didn't even know this about me, just know that you have to be mindful of what you say to people. You have to really think. You have to listen. Watch out for the signs for people who are going through things. I walked around like everything was fine. most of the time I walked around like that. Other times, you know, I didn't. But someone right next to you can be fighting these situations, can be going through these things. Make sure that you read up on these things. Make sure that you're aware of the signs and the different things that can be right under your nose. Parents, be active in your kids' life. Make sure you know what's going on, because you never want to years later find out that your child was hurting so much. So, you know, again, if you ever get to that point where you just can't take it, call the National Suicide Prevention Line. Talk to someone. Reach out to me. I'm here. So, YouTube, you got me. I definitely let you guys in a lot more this time, and I know this video is really long, but there was a story, you know, to be told, and I might have been all over the place, but it's an emotions, and you know, I'm just coming to you guys, and I'm trying to be so open and honest, and I'm at a point in my life where I can talk about it. Coming in front of the camera is where I feel free. I feel my most comfortable is in front of a camera, in front of these lights, being able to do what I love, and that's talking and helping people. And I just want to be able to help you. I want to be able to help the next person and people for years to come. So thank you again for watching. Thank you again for all your love and support. I hope that, you know, this video helps someone. If not, pass it on. You know, if it doesn't help you, pass it on to somebody else. I'm sure it probably will help them. So stay positive. Keep your head up. And always remember, you are enough. You are loved. You're not alone. Bye, you guys.